Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today we are going to get to a project that has really had me thinking about it a lot lately. This is a nursery stock money tree clump style. So I have not repotted it since I got it. It has these glued in like decorative rocks here, the white stone, and then a shiny polished one on top, and then some really died off moss that I don't know that I'd be able to recover. So we're going to take a look at their roots and the soil and see if we want to keep them lump style, separate a few. I don't know. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. All right, so last time I did a video on this, Franny was home, and I think I was holding baby Stella, and so I had Franny doing the pruning, and she really lopped off a good chunk of this tree right here when I was just trying to do a little defoliation. And so whatever, it is what it is. But it died off. It did kick off a couple of leaves initially, but it is really soft and brittle and clearly dead. I could probably just wiggle it. Yeah, it was just coming out right at the roots. So what I'm thinking is the soil on this is probably going to be terrible, mainly like coconut husk. So I have some really good bonsai soil I want to put this into. And I really don't know the species root system. I don't know if they're a shallow root one or if they go crazy and you really have to repot them quite often. So, as I got my lucky money frog there, let's just get to it, huh? So that came off in one piece. See, I don't know if I would reuse it again or not. It is kind of convenient that it's in one piece. Shiny stock white, and it is the shape of the pot. Okay, we'll think about it. So this frog, I can't remember the specific name for it, but it's supposed to have some sort of mystical powers, and it holds on to this coin, maybe brings good fortune. I saw it at a little gemstone and crystal shop. You know, fun store to grab a few things for your better bonsai, some shiny stones, maybe some different colors. So I'm wondering if this is the same type of moss that comes with a kokedama set, and you just really have to focus on misting and keeping it wet in between watering your tree. So I'll maybe do this every week to week and a half. I'll water it, but I know from my kokedama, I have a couple of olive trees in kokedama. They're just the straight up moss balls with the soil inside. I know with them I have to mist them and drip them under the sink a few times a week to keep them with their green color. I still struggle with it because it's just like when I water my trees, it's a check in the box, you know? And I don't really necessarily think about the in-between little tasks. So there's some of this loose stone in here, so I'll just preserve it because maybe I'll top dress the whole thing with these stones, maybe break them up and just top dress with it. That's not a bad idea. So I try to continuously turn this thing in an eastern facing window because otherwise it'll get all of its growth going in one direction. They really respond well to the light. Even though I have indirect light from other sides of the house, depending on the time of the day, that morning to noon sun is really strong. So that's how I've developed this canopy. So what I was going to do was just take off a few of the taller ones before we repotted, but I don't think we'll have an issue with top heaviness since they're just single long leaves. So I'll go ahead and wait till the repot so we can really decide what we're doing before I deal with the shape of the canopy, because if I'm going to separate the trees, it wouldn't make sense anymore anyways. Alright. Alright, so the soil actually isn't that bad. It does look peat mossy and maybe, yeah, coconut husk. But it It does have a good amount of perlite. And I think there are some, yeah, there's some nice fertilizer pellets in there as well. Let's see if I get a better angle. Yeah, so these are the fertilizer pellets. Usually have like a 6-month time release. And it's, they worked well into there, but that might be just falling down from the top and those were made, because that looks like the brand I use. I don't know. Who can remember all these things? I have too many trees. So, here we go. So this is my favorite. It's the only thing that has any interest. The other ones are relatively vertical and don't really divide that much yet either. Oh, hey, Stella. Stella Lou just woke up. She's watching. So I did not water this before. I watered all my other trees while Stella was napping. And now I'm going to do this. And then I have that really nice light bonsai soil I did in another video that I'm still so happy with. It's really going a long way. And I have a ton of perlite also on the side. So it was a worthwhile investment of time and some money. These are rubber bands, so clearly they were tied together by that. So I will water the soil after I repot it, is the point I was getting to. I'll just put it in the sink, let it really flow through, kind of get any air bubbles out of there, let the soil settle in, and then I will put it back in the window. Hopefully we get a good result today. This is my least favorite thing to do in bonsai. It's like I was thinking the other day, I'm like, I'll probably have a lot more garden trees around the property that just grow right out of the ground and keep them, you know, no taller than my height. And, you know, get to enjoy, not have to stress about overwintering them inside or anything like that, because, you know, they're indigenous and then they're larger, hardier. You could really ornamental prune them nicely and just have, you know, larger bonsais or garden trees, whatever you want to call them. Don't get me wrong, I love this and I'm enjoying the learning process. This is just, that would be something that I don't enjoy that I could easily take out and still get the full joy with the pruning of the tree, developing them outdoors in the ground. Whoa. The mat doesn't help when you chuck soil across the room. Okay, so they didn't really go together that much. So I'm wondering if I can't make a more interesting planting with some different angles on those ones that are vertical. Maybe instead of trying to separate this one. See, we're getting a lot of inverse taper. Now that's probably common with clump style. I do not know. This is my first clump style. I really like how this root comes across though, and down. It's attractive. I don't know, I think I'd maybe go from this side even. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so by breaking up these stones, that won't limit me to just one section where I could plant. So I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to switch it into maybe one singular and then 3 clumped together, but in a more interesting fashion. So I'm going to get this soil cleaned up, probably wash the roots off, and then we'll start getting the other soil in the pot and take a look at how we're going to set it up. Okay, so here we go. So the root systems really aren't that bad. They weren't that tangled up. Yes, this one has that main bulbous root, but I'm going to kind of make it like it's part of the trunk flare, which I like in certain species. This happens to be one of them. And I think by the repotting, I might be able to solve some of this inverse taper. But what this tells me is I'm not going to prune any of these roots today, and I don't have to, which is the part where I think I always mess up a bit. And when I lose trees on the repot, which is why I hate the repot, it's because of that pruning. So this buys me a few years because this is 3 years old. So even if they were cuttings, I know that they do not grow that much roots over the years. So we'll check back probably this time 2 years from now if I don't like the arrangement again, or max 3 years, and then we'll do another repotting. So without further ado, let's get it into this. I started walking away like I had a cameraman. And welcome to Jarhead Bonsai. If it's your first time, this is my technical difficulties. So this is the soil we're going to use. Lots of perlite, some akadama, lava rock, pumice, coconut shavings. There's some tree fertilizer in there. Just a whole bunch of great stuff. I went totally ham with it, and I recycled that other soil here. You know, I just keep these bins around the recycled soil, keep them outside so that if there are any bugs, they'll die off during the winter. And I use it for newer trees if I'm starting from seed, or, you know, basic house plants, tropicals, things like that, where I don't feel like wasting the money from the high-end bonsai soil. So let's get to it.